Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Matt Bernier. Dubai World Cup is Saturday, and on the undercard we've got an important Kentucky Derby prep race. Race number 4 at Meydan at about 1 mile and 3/16. It's the $2 million UAE Derby, basically a win and you're in for the Kentucky Derby.
And arguably, you can make the case you run second and you're in the Kentucky Derby if everything shakes out the way it looks like it may. It's an interesting race. Obviously, these horses haven't had a lot of success when they come over here to run the Kentucky Derby, but of all years, why not this year?
And a lot of chaos and turmoil in North America with our 3-year-olds leading up to the Derby. And as we take a look at the entry card, they're coming from everywhere. Japan, Aidan O'Brien with his powerhouse stable bringing some turf horses over here. Todd Pletcher's going to take a shot with Master Plan, the number 2. Let's take a look at these horses in post-position order. The number 1 is Cutter Man. Of course, there was no match for Thunder Snow, who's the likely favorite in this year's UAE Derby. That was 2 starts back. He improved most recently to finish second to Cosmo Charlie. It looks like he's getting better. I wonder if this is a little bit too much.
Yeah, I kind of look at it and say if I needed just an absolute flyer in here, sort of a bomb, I think he would be an interesting one. I thought he ran well enough going 1 mile and 3/16 last time. Couldn't quite get to Cosmo Charlie. It seems like Speed did very well on the main track that day at Meydan, so I don't want to hold that against Cutter Man, but at the end of the day, boy, it looks like he's a little bit slow right now.
It looks like the distance is his friend.
Yeah.
That last race, the improvement perhaps coincided with the distance, and I think you're right. That March 4th afternoon at Meydan, boy, Speed and the rail was the place to be. Cutterman ran well against the track. The 2 is Master Plan. He is shipping in from the United States for trainer Todd Pletcher. Limited positive formulator fact for Pletcher concerning Master Plan. Over the past 5 years, with last out winning 3-year-olds, moving from synthetic to dirt 30% and a positive ROI. This horse has run once on dirt. Now, it was an off-the-turf sloppy track race, but he's been flattered by what Tapwrit's done since.
Yeah, if you're a believer in Tapwrit, you kind of have to look at this horse and say, okay, then maybe there's something here. And if you go back and watch that replay, he finished really well. It kind of seems like distance will be his friend. You see the pedigree, you can understand why they tried turf initially. But then I thought that most recent start down at OBS, I don't know, it didn't look all that appealing to me. He was all out for about a half mile, and he just kind of won, I think, a war of attrition. I don't love him in here. I won't be surprised if he runs well, but he's just not for me at a short price.
Yeah, that OBS championship run over the safe track synthetic surface at Ocala, it at least was playing to speed. He was the only horse coming from off the pace to win that afternoon, but I wonder if that was an example of a pace collapse against a weak field. This is going to be a tougher field, but it is Pletcher, and it's his world considering the 3-year-olds right now.
I guess the other thing that's just kind of stuck in the back of my head, if they thought he was some superstar, would you ship him all the way across country? Or all across the world. I understand the connections, you know, they're sort of based over there, but if you really thought he was just the bee's knees, one of your studs, would you ship him all the way over there just to ship him all the way back?
World-class trainer Aidan O'Brien's won just about everything but the Kentucky Derby. He has 2 in here. We'll begin with the 3, Lancaster Bomber, who I believe was used as a rabbit 2 starts back in that Dubai Dewhurst, and ran surprisingly well on turf to finish second. He ran really well on the Breeders' Cup juvenile turf. Now he's going to have to do it not only at dirt, but stretching all the way out to 1 mile and 3/16. You look at this pedigree, Matt, lots of turf. His half-brother, though, Acceleration, you take Frankel out of the equation, he would have been the king of the turf milers back in 2012.
Yeah, and I believe he came over here for the Breeders' Cup Mile. Don't hold that against him, though.
He ran okay.
Yeah, he ran okay. He didn't run great, but that wasn't really his goal, obviously. There's a couple things that are concerning for me, though. I don't know if he's going to be able to step on dirt. And you brought up the Acceleration piece. He was a cracked miler. He didn't want to go any farther. I don't know if this horse is going to want to appreciate going this long, particularly off of such a long layoff against some quality horses. I think this is a unique scenario where this UAE Derby, as opposed to past UAE Derbies, I think there's some quality in here. Past, we've had 1 or 2 horses that kind of stand out. I think this is a good race.
I think this is a good horse, but compared to what the price is going to be, I'm not sure I want him. I think he's going to take money based on the connections and his gaudy company lines in Grade 1 races on the turf. The 4 is Midnight Chica, and Midnight Chica improved last time out with distance in the UAE Oaks on February the 23rd, but she is a filly taking on the boys, and she just looks a shade below, and that's why she's 99 to 1 on the line.
I'll tell you what, if you are a trip player, she was brutally wide throughout in that race, and she still stayed on. Right now, she just looks like she's slow.
Top Score might be more of a turf runner. He's only tried the dirt once. That was 3 starts back in his seasonal debut, and he was no match for Fly at Dawn and Cosmo Charlie, 2 fringe contenders in this spot. He's done a lot better since switching back to the turf. You get the feeling Connections are taking a shot.
Yeah, taking a shot. I don't blame them for that at all. I don't like how sort of slow he is out of the gate. He dwelt completely last time. 3 back, he was a step slow. There is pedigree here, though. The dam is a full the Ravens pass. You see the hard spun. I understand why they're taking a shot.
I want to talk about pedigree. The number 6 Foree doesn't take a seat to anybody, backseat to anybody. It's by Candy Ride. Damn, Keeper Hill was a super horse back in the day. You tell us about this horse, because he's got some problems.
Yeah, he's been his own worst enemy in all 3 of his lifetime starts. He has some real issues with the gate. He doesn't want to go in, and then once he gets in there, he throws a fit. So they've had him with the loading blanket, they've had him with the hood, and most recently, the hood was a problem because the hood was taken off a fraction too early. Yeah. He popped the gate, threw a little bit of a fit, dumped the rider. He was out before the race even began. Now, obviously, if you're watching this, you know wagering over in Dubai is not allowed. So internationally, he was the favorite in that race. And who knows? I mean, Cosmo Charlie, Cutter Man, they're both coming back in this spot. The way he won 2 back gives off the indication that there's something here. And it just seems very, very, not odd, but Mike de Kock brought up a horse whisperer from South Africa to talk to, I don't know, figure out what to talk to this horse and make sure that he got his head right. Allegedly, now he can load without anything. I'll believe it when I see it Saturday, but if he minds his business, he's a talent.
And he's dirtied up because that last line is non-existent. He might be a decent price in this wide open race. Listen, a problem child won this race last year, no doubt about it. You get the feeling at Fuller he's probably a better horse at this point of his career than Lonnie was when winning the UAE Derby, albeit against a much weaker field last year. The 7 is B Jersey by one of your favorite racehorses, Jersey Town. He cost $250,000 as a Keeneland September yearling. He ran just fine behind Thunder Snow. He took a big run at that horse on the turn, and Thunder Snow said, no, 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 and he pushed him away in the stretch. But it looks like this horse is slowly improving. Jersey Town's at 1 mile and 3/16.
Yeah, no, don't love that. The Jersey Towns as a whole thus far have been kind of disappointing, which for me is disappointing as well. But you also look at the dam B's, and you look at just underneath, kind of sprinty. And there's a part of me that wonders if he's going to ultimately be better off going shorter. I'd like to see him shipped over here. He's owned by Chuck Fifke, so it wouldn't be a stunner if all of a sudden he showed up here for someone like Dallas Stewart.
This horse is still a maiden, however. He's going to have to step it up. Now, distance won't be a problem for the 8. Vittori Kin. Joel Rosario takes the mount. This horse is now under the tutelage of Kenny McPeak. He won his only prior start on dirt, but I'm guessing that was kind of a weak Group 3 in Brazil.
And it was over a wet track. Hopefully we don't have any rain. I know it did rain the other morning over in Dubai, but he's just one of those that, of all the imports coming in, I don't like him really as much as some of the other ones.
The 9 is Fly at Dawn. He's been in good form in his 3 starts during the Carnival meeting. Last time out was on the turf. He ran okay behind Top Score. He won the UAE 2000 Guineas Trial 2 starts back, but that was a sprint. He's by discreet cat. I'm worried about the distance. I think he'll be forward.
100%. I agree with everything. I liked the way that he won 2 back. I just don't know how far he's going to want to go being by discreet cat.
The number 10 is Epicaris. He ticks most of the boxes. He's a perfect 4 for 4 in his career. He has won twice at 1 mile and 1/8. He won his seasonal debut. He can win from on the lead, from off the pace, inside, wide. This is the first time he's going to face a real horse, though.
Yeah, but he does check all the boxes. He has the pedigree. He's 3/4, and correct my pronunciation if I'm wrong here, because you are the Japanese guy as far as racing is concerned. Meisho Narato?
That sounds good to me.
Okay, he's 3/4 to him, grade 3 turf router over there in Japan. There's a lot to like here. You watch all of his races. He's professional. Maybe he's a little slow out of the gate from time to time. I mean, we heard that he was a little bit fat in his seasonal debut, and he still won for fun. He was all washed out. He still won. I think there's a lot of ability here. I know Thunder Snow, who we'll get to, is likely the favorite in here. I think Epicaris is the horse to beat.
The 11 is He Runs Away. Group 1 winner on dirt, 2 starts back in Argentina. He did it going 1 mile and 9/16. I just have trouble analyzing these South American races, especially on dirt.
I don't know what he faced, but if you're looking for just something to laugh at, go back and watch when he won that race at 1 mile and 9/16. The rider did his best Christophe Soumillon impression, going too much to handle. He's interesting.
Number 12 is Spirit of Valor. He is the other one, trained by Aidan O'Brien. He sold for $850,000 as a wheeling. He will get blinkers for the first time. Now, he is stretching all the way out, but at least he's got more of a dirt pedigree than his uncoupled mate Lancaster Bomber. His half-brother Street Life was a nice horse.
Yeah, he was okay. He won the Curlin, and then he went into the Travers, and he was actually one of the choices in there. He didn't deliver that day, and I believe that may have been his last race, unfortunately. But like you say, there is more dirt in here than there is, I think, than Lancaster Bomber has. boy, you haven't seen him since the end of October. This is a lot to ask for a horse coming off of a long, long layoff.
Will the 13 Thunder Snow stay? That's the question. I don't think it's a question of quality. He was a Group 1 winner on turf in France last year. He won the UAE 2000 Guineas last time out. It was like breaking sticks at a mile.
Yeah.
I didn't like that he didn't change leads in the stretch, but he really wasn't asked for much run. He's the horse to beat.
Yeah, he's the horse to beat. He's talented. I mean, you go back and even watch that Group 1 that he won at St. Cloud last year. I mean, he just was much better than that entire field. You look at the pedigree. He's bred to be a good horse. I don't know a heck of a lot about Helmet, but it sounds like he was a nice horse in Australia. You look at the dam. She did some big things on the French Oaks. He's supposed to be a good horse. He is a good horse. I don't know how far he wants to go.
The 14 is No More Rich Blondes course and distance winner of the UAE Oaks. Now is going to step up and tackle the boys.
Yeah, she was a little goofy with the leads down the lane. I thought she finished fine, all things considered, but this is a big jump.
Cosmo Charlie really appreciated stretching out last time out. He's by Stay Thirsty. It's no surprise that the extra distance worked for him, but that was the day again. You had to be on the lead near the inside, and he might have ridden the track, but it was his first time with blinkers. I think he's getting better. This is a big step up in class, but I didn't get a piece of this.
My concern with him, both of his wins came out right on the lead. I can't envision him making the top here, even with the blinkers on second time out. He's a nice little horse. I just think not only because of the other pace in this race, but my goodness, both of these two outside horses, they're in trouble with that post.
Adorado, the 16, might be the speed of the speed, but legendary Japanese jockey Yutaka Take might be on a dead scent from out there to avoid getting hung too wide going into the first turn. This horse won some very fast races in his first two starts on dirt sprinting. Just was no match for Epicaris going a mile last time out. I don't see him getting this trip.
And if he had the fitness edge, he had the tactical edge because there was no pace in that Hyacinth, and he was out there on the lead, and he still got beat by a fat, sweaty horse that wasn't ready to go, apparently, allegedly. I mean, how is he going to turn the tables on Epicaris if Epicaris is cranked up and ready to go?
Especially at a longer distance
Right.
against better horses with other pace in the race.
Right.
He does have a lot of early pace. Let's take a look at our picks for the UAE Derby. The horse to beat is Thunder Snow. We're going to try to beat him. I'm going to go with Epicaris. He's done nothing wrong yet. Let's see how he fares against tougher competition. And you like Forey, who could be any kind and is dirtied up by that last debacle. Let's just hope he goes in the gate and breaks.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing. I mean, if you're going to back him here in our markets, you're going to have to hope that he just behaves himself. If he does, I think he's got a nice chance to get a beautiful pedigree. I know the favorite is going to be Thunder Snow. I do think Epicaris is the horse to beat.
I'm expecting Epicaris is going to take a lot of money as well. You like Forey? Give me numbers.
I went 6, 10, 13, and 1. Cutter Man, maybe he can sneak into the money.
I'm going to go 10, 13, 11, 15 in the UAE Derby. It has an approximate post time of 9:25 a.m. Eastern. Best of luck.